So first off, what is imagery? Imagery is when an author uses descriptive language that helps the reader to better understand what's happening. It's important to remember that imagery can mean making an image, and we often think of it that way, like it's imagery, it must be making an image of some sort. But it can also appeal to your other senses as well. Descriptions that appeal to your senses to try and make them real.
What sense is the author appealing to in this sentence? The author is appealing to the sense of taste. What other senses might a writer appeal to? Can you envision this moment? This is because its writer is appealing to the sense of sight. Can you hear it? This is because its writer uses words that suggest sounds. Writers also can suggest the sense of touch. Finally, writers can appeal to the sense of smell. All of these examples use imagery.
So let's talk about the different senses. We could say it was sunny, which is something familiar for most of us. We've experienced sunshine, but we might not have experienced, we might have experienced different sunshine. So let's be a little bit more specific. The sunlight filled the fields with golden rays. This is definitely much more descriptive, and it helps us to get a little bit more of the atmosphere. And what does it mean it was sunny? Well, the sunlight filled the field with its golden rays. It's a little bit more of an image that it's making in your mind. So this is using the sense of sight, telling us something and how it looks. The door closed loudly. This is a sound. You could say that. It's a sound that's pretty loud, I guess. Or we could say the door slammed shut, echoing through the entire house. The word echoing is a much more active word, and it helps to portray an image that we can hear. Have you ever heard a door slam so loud that it felt like the walls shook a little bit and it echoed throughout the entire house? This helps us make an image of what that might have sounded like, and it definitely appeals more to our senses. So again, this is imagery. When we start to create images in the reader's mind using the different senses. Let's talk about two more. The cupcake was good. That's not very descriptive. The frosting melted on her tongue, making her forget everything but its sweetness. Now we're talking about how it tasted. It tasted sweet. All right, we didn't know. Maybe the person likes lemon cupcakes and it was really sour before. And they say, well, it was good. But now we know the cupcake's sweet. We know that it has frosting on it that melts in your mouth. It makes it definitely seem a lot more real and creates more of a relatable image. The cat was soft. Okay. As I rubbed the silky fur of the cat, the small cat, I felt like I was touching a delicate cloud. So this here is giving us that image of what the cat felt like. It also adds in that it was a small cat, and so it's using some descriptive language that helps us to feel like we're actually there. That's an example of imagery, a couple of examples of imagery. I want to share with you something from the book 1984 by George Orwell. It says, outside, even through the shut window pane, the world looked cold. Down in the street, little eddies of wind were whirling dust and torn paper into spirals, and though the sun was shining and the sky a harsh blue, there seemed to be no color in anything except the posters that were plastered everywhere. Wow! You can really feel and sense and sort of imagine that you were there with this kind of a description, right? Feels like there's no color on anything. I'm picturing like a gray, sort of dead feeling, like that kind of gray after or right before a rainstorm kind of thing. Even though the sky, the sun was shining and the sky was blue, it just feels dark and gray. And you get that kind of a feel when you read through a lot of the works by George Orwell.
Let's start with imagery.
We have 5 senses. Writers often appeal to these senses to bring their stories to the reader's imagination. For example,